We started our Airbnb business from scratch and generated over 15k a month through the rent to rent Airbnb strategy.
We had no prior property knowledge. We were just both hungry to see success. And I'm going to tell you a bit about our story and how we got started.
I spent years bouncing between jobs. I tried recruitment, I tried affiliate marketing, I tried waitressing. I even went back to my normal 9-to-5 job, which was in the childcare industry, until I realized the freedom element part was missing. And I was chasing that for many, many years, going traveling, coming back broke and having to just go back to a normal job, save up again, pay off all my debt, and things started to change once I got into property.
Now a bit about my story, because it is a little bit more interesting and I feel like a lot of people can relate to it. So before getting started into property, I didn't have the easiest journey. So I was working loads of different jobs. Like I worked at Sainsbury's, Nando's, Primark, I've done agency, I even tried Amazon FBA and drop shipping. And I just felt like nothing was just working for me, literally nothing. And then after doing all of these jobs, I had a little bit of money saved up. So I was like, okay, I can't be working at Nando's forever. During the time I was working all these jobs, I did go to university just to kind of keep my mum quiet, because she was like, you just can't keep working Nando's and Primark on all these jobs, like you need to get a proper job. So I was like, okay, let me just go to university just to keep my mum quiet for a little bit. So while I was at university, I saw loads of different stories about Airbnb and rent to rent, and I thought, okay, this is definitely something that I can do. But I was kind of a little bit stubborn, like I didn't really want to get the proper knowledge and the correct like mentorship. So I decided to just get a property with no knowledge, because I thought, you know what, it can't be that difficult. So I got this property from Deal Sourcer. I thought it was an amazing property. 6 months into actually having this property, I was losing so much money. I lost £12,000 because I just didn't really know what I was doing. So at this point, I literally was flat out broke. I had no money, but I thought, okay, I actually want to do property still. Like I still want to get another Airbnb unit, because I saw the value and I saw that it could actually replace my 9-to-5. So that's when I met Deanna. I went to a property networking event and I saw this lovely lady and I was like, okay, let's network. And then
Basically at that point as well, I was working a full-time job. I was in a nursery. I had a bit of savings because that's when I got back from my traveling and realized I needed to get my finances back on point, because when I came back from traveling, I was also broken in debt. And then I was like, okay, right, cool. Let me actually focus on building a future for myself instead of running away from it. And that's when I started to save up again. Again, I was researching a few like videos on YouTube about property, Airbnb, and I saw many young people make a success out of it. And I really wanted to do that for myself. I like the freedom element as well, people doing it from different countries. So again, I attended that property event and that's where we met. We didn't actually speak at that event.
I know at the time I obviously had my rent to rent that was losing me money, and like you were like, oh my gosh, you're doing so well, and I was like, I'm not doing well. I literally have a property that I'm paying every month for. My whole 9-to-5 wage is going to this property. Like I can't even afford to live.
I think for me, I saw it in a perspective that you actually took that risk and started the property journey, and that's something I wanted to do. And where I was like a bit behind, I thought, even though you've got property that's losing your money, at least you've already started and you've got that sort of experience already. And then
that's when we obviously, I know you had savings. I literally had nothing.
Showing up pulling it from the get-go.
I had no savings. So I was like, okay, I do want to like get the right knowledge and do it properly this time, because the thing is, guys, you can do it yourself, but you're going to lose a lot of time and you're going to lose a lot of money. Like I thought YouTube was my best friend. Like I could just go on YouTube, I can go on TikTok and I'll find all the answers, but it's so difficult when you're in the position and you don't know what you're doing. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it the proper way. I'm going to take out a loan. I took out a loan of £7,500. At this point, I didn't even know how I was going to pay it back. I did use some of my student finance. I'm not advising you guys do this. I just done it because I was just hungry and I just wanted to get out of the current situation I was in. So I took out a loan, paid £7,500 for a mentor. I know you've done the same as well.
I think mine was a bit different because I knew I didn't want to do it alone. I didn't want to try and test it. I knew when I found out about Airbnb and property, I knew I wanted mentorship. I needed guidance. I knew I couldn't do it alone. I think that's where our stories are a bit different. So I didn't actually go through any major losses because I'd done it correctly.
Just for context, this was 2023, December 2023.
December 2023, yeah.
And then we decided to, after the mentoring, we both was in the same group. So we decided, okay, let's meet up, let's do walk-ins together, let's go to agents together. And then we kind of started our property journey from there. Obviously, I started it 6 months before that before we kind of met.
Before doing it
together.
Together, yeah.
Yeah. So I had a bit of experience, but I had like a negative experience from it. Although I did know that, okay, this can still work.
Yeah. And I think it took like 2 months for us to secure it. You actually found the property on, where did you find it?
Open Rent.
Open Rent, yeah.
So a month into looking for properties, we did come across loads of properties. Like there were so many properties that we literally spent practically every day, like going to viewings, walking into agents, doing landlord calls. Like we were both committed.
At that time as well, we didn't have a car, so we would public transport and everything, trains, buses. It was hard in the rain. It was a lot.
In the rain.
No excuses though. I was working full time, so I was literally like, I don't care. I was hardly sleeping. I was just committed to the vision.
Oh my gosh, I missed a vital part. So as soon as I joined the mentoring, guys, so around December time, I got fired from my 9 to 5. So I had a 9 to 5 for like 3 months because I needed to pay for the property that was the Airbnb that was losing me money. But then they fired me because I don't know, I just wasn't a good worker, and I know I'm not a good worker. So I got fired. So I was working part-time, but I still had a property.
Most of the time you was actually doing property work at work, and I was thinking, how are you doing this?
Because I got fired from my 9 to 5. I got like an agency job where I was able to work whilst being at work. So it was just like a concierge job. So every time I was at work, I was just working, like trying to find agents and landlords. That really helped me because it freed, I was still getting paid whilst just looking for agents and landlords. So that really helped.
Also at the time you didn't have a laptop. So
no, I didn't have a laptop. I actually didn't have a laptop. Guys, quick backstory. I don't know if I should say this, but my old 9 to 5, I can laugh at it now because it's funny, but my old 9 to 5 that I got fired from, they gave me a laptop. When I got fired, I literally took the laptop and I ran. And I said, because I needed a laptop. I didn't have one. So I ran with the laptop. When I got fired, I just said, okay, bye, I'm going. Ran with the laptop. I ended up getting caught, and they said if I didn't bring it back, then I'm going to get in big trouble. So I brought it back. Yeah, I was laptopless for a while. Honestly, guys, if you really want something, you'll make it work. And I had to make it work.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason we are where we are today, is because we don't make excuses. We find solutions for problems.
Yeah, that's true. In March, we ended up securing our first rent-to-rent unit after like calling loads of landlords and having loads of properties. This one was one that I found. At the time, I didn't actually have money to take it on myself, so I wasn't able to. So that's when we formed our company, and then we had this rent-to-rent unit.
March 2024, Shanna found a property deal. So yeah, we secured our first unit, and then we formed our company, Dash Properties. We decided to actually open a company together. Some people may decide to do a joint venture together and just have a contract in place between them, but we kind of wanted to do the journey together and grow our portfolio together.
Around that time as well, because I didn't have any money to actually put into the first deal, we actually came across another deal that we sourced onto an investor, and we got paid £1,500 for that deal. So yeah, we did sell on a lot of properties as well, just due to not having the finances. I had nothing, and after she put in all that money for that one property, we didn't have that much funds to take on another unit.
Yeah, majority of my money did go on mentorship, and I had like a bit of money left. There was around under £4,000 left, and that's all we had to put into our first unit. We were able to do this because we negotiated deposit replacement. So we only paid 1 week's worth of deposit. We got the property part furnished. The landlord did actually provide us with some furniture, which was really useful. At that time, you also had your other unit where
we took a lot of furniture from my unit that was losing me money and put it into our current unit. So that's kind of how we started. And then we ended up securing another property a month later. This one was all you again. I didn't put any money.
I didn't have money. I took a loan out for that.
She took out a loan for that property, which was quite risky. At that point, I was quite nervous because I was like, the rent is literally £3,300. Like,
because bearing in mind, we both had no money at this point. We already had a rent to rent that we had to pay £2,200 for. But again, we knew it was a profitable unit, so we wasn't too stressed about it. We were working, but I was making under 1.6k a month. Was you part-time salary?
Part-time, I think. So it wasn't that much.
Yeah, but the numbers
wasn't enough to cover the rent anyway.
The numbers on this property were really good, and I was adamant that we'd take it on. I didn't want to sell it on. I wanted to take it on, and it was with the same landlord we had. So I was like, Shana, I'm just going to take a loan out. Like, we can use our profits to just pay it back because it's going to perform well. It wasn't a risk. It was a calculated risk. It did pay off, and we were able to generate 15k months through just those two Airbnbs together.
Later on, we did end up sourcing a few more rent-to-rent deals. So we did focus heavily on sourcing, and then we actually did take on a few more properties. After securing the second unit, we did focus heavily on deal sourcing.
At that time, we were also low on funds, but we decided to both quit our jobs 6 months into the business because we were making really good profit from our Airbnb units. We actually replaced our 9 to 5 salary through just 2 Airbnb units, and we decided to go all in. It was scary, but it was working, and we knew that if we invested all our time and energy into property, that we would make a really big success out of it. And we also wanted the freedom to build our own business as well, which was a massive driving force for us. We did again focus on like deal sourcing and selling deals to investors, providers.
So yeah, after securing those 2 units, we did come across loads of other deals. During that time, we also took on 5 rent-to-rent units while focusing heavily on deal sourcing. And then we took on another Airbnb unit in Canary Wharf area. Yeah, we actually done a joint venture on this property in Canary Wharf. The investor put in all the funds for this property. Whilst we had this property in Canary Wharf, we were still focusing on deal sourcing and taking on more Airbnb units. Currently now, we are at 10 rent-to-rent units, and we are looking to scale and take on more properties and also focus on deal sourcing and obviously bigger projects in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And we're telling you this because you don't actually need money to start your rent-to-rent business. If you have that determination and drive to make it work, you'll find ways. All you need is the basic knowledge on how to secure rent-to-rents, how to negotiate with landlords and agents, and how to confidently speak about your business module. And I think once you've mastered those skills, once you have mastered those skills, you will be able to present deals to investors, sell on deals, and build your capital up that way, which is exactly what we done. And if you really do focus and commit all your time and energy into that strategy, it will allow you to leave your 9 to 5 and do property full time, and also hit figures like 15, 20k months.
I also just want to touch a bit about that as well. Like, I know a lot of people feel like you need so much money to start, but I was literally that person who...
You was minus 12k.
Yeah, I was literally minus 12k, but I still found a way. I was leveraging off other people, but if you're smart, you'll understand that there's more money outside of your bank account than there is inside your bank account.
And I think you also say, like, when you're at rock bottom,
yeah, you have nothing else to lose. Like,
you literally have nothing else to lose.
Sometimes I feel like when you're literally broke, flat out broke, you're in the best position because you have nothing else to lose. I get everyone's situation is different. I totally understand. Like, obviously I don't have a mortgage to pay for, I don't have rent to pay for, so able to take more risks. So that's the good thing about obviously the situation I was in. But don't let your situation stop you, because things are always going to arise, especially in life or when you start a business. The best time to start is now, because things are always going to happen. If you wait for the perfect moment, then you'll never start.
Exactly. And it's really important to obviously surround yourself with people who think like you. I was always around people who thought differently to me, and it made me lose track of my actual vision and goals until I actually started putting myself in environments where people actually wanted the things I wanted. Is when I started to attract those types of people who shared the same visions as goals as me. We would have never have met, and we wouldn't have been able to do the things we're doing today. So environment is also really, really important.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this video, a bit about our story, because I know we haven't really spoken about our stories together. But yeah, any other videos you do want to see from us, make sure you comment them down below. If you do want to reach out for any joint venturing or any mentoring or just any other videos that you do want to see, my @ is Property by Shana on all platforms.
And my one's Property with Deanna on all social media platforms as well. So feel free to drop us a comment, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.